Meg O'Rourke. Meg is a registered dietitian and can help you get on the path to a healthier. Ask Meg a question. Call 1-866-920-WHJJ. Now, here's Meg O'Rourke.
I help proactive, inquiring minds understand, while we rely on some of the same principles of conventional medicine, that we have to value the therapeutic relationship, working with systems and frameworks, always aiming to address the root cause. Now, I'm leading nutritionist Meg Marie O'Rourke, and we're talking about proactive more than preventative. Preventative healthcare is not really out there. It's only out there to a degree. But proactive healthcare is when you want to take it to the next level. Maybe you're one of those people who's tried every single supplement. You read a blog, you try a supplement. You hear something on the radio, you try that. Ironically, they just had a commercial on before my show, right? So you hear these things, you hear the commercials on TV, and all of a sudden you have 18 supplements, and you don't even know, when you're paying hundreds of dollars a month, and you don't even know which supplements are working and which are not. Functional nutrition is different than conventional medicine. As a functional nutritionist and a registered dietitian, I help you work within the framework to get you where you need to be, starting at where you're at. So maybe we have to look at your whole lifestyle, we have to look at what supplements you're on. The scope of my practice is not to diagnose, prescribe, or treat. Instead, my role is to understand the whole person in its entirety so that we can then determine what foods and supplements you should or should not be consuming. So if you're just tuning in, my name is Meg Marie O'Rourke. I've been a registered dietitian for over 20 years. And if you're suffering from headaches, GI symptoms, maybe rheumatoid arthritis, maybe inflammation, you may have an autoimmune disease, or maybe you are feeling weight loss resistant, there are things called obesogens that cause weight loss resistance. So today we're going to focus on a lot of different things. We're going to talk a little bit at the end of the show. We're going to talk about why we shouldn't poison our neighborhood kids this Halloween with food dyes and chemicals and additives, and how we actually, COVID has been a huge test for naturopathic professionals, right? So easy for me to say. So what happened is with COVID, right, we were all walking around with weakened immune systems, and nobody knew it until we got tested by COVID. And all of a sudden, we saw what happened. I don't have the stats in front of me. I don't care to read them. We hear enough of that stuff, negative stuff, and try to keep the show a little more positive. But we saw what happened. So, we're going to talk a little bit about some of my clients and what they've experienced when they've done micronutrient testing or microbiome testing. I'm going to have a special offer just for all you listeners and you guys that are on my list. A lot of you guys that are on my list also will get some special deals throughout the year. Actually, just me thanking you for listening to the show, supporting me, and also being on my email list. So that's up and coming. We'll talk about that later in the show. But there is a gap between conventional medicine and functional medicine, or functional nutrition per se, is what I do. And we're going to talk about that, and we're going to dig deeper. And we are going to just look at some examples of some vitamins and minerals that we could or could not be lacking, and how we can use these new testing that they're not doing in conventional medicine to get you where you need to be. Because what's happening in conventional medicine is, you all know it, and so do I. I always say it's nice to know you don't have cancer. Great to know, or great to know that you do so you can do something about it. But the reality is that we could be doing so much more for ourselves and our health. Like, do you want to be around for your grandchildren? Do you want to be around, see your kids get married? Are you just skimming the surface with your health? I'm here to say that you should not be treating yourself subpar. Maybe you're getting up on a Monday morning saying you're going to start your diet Monday. We both know you aren't, but you're going to say it to yourself. You're going to try on 8 different outfits. None of them really fit. You weigh yourself before that, and you saw you gained another 3 pounds because you know you were saying on the weekend you were going to start your diet Monday. You never did. You never will. And diets don't work. And I'm the anti-diet dietitian, and that's why I started the show. Yeah, I'm no nonsense, and if you don't like that about me, change the channel. Or if I'm not the dietitian for you, that's okay, move on. But I am no nonsense, and I will tell you how it is. And if you're not ready for that, then you need to move on. And so I'm here to tell you that I'm here every Saturday from 11 to noon, and we talk about the root causes. We talk about functional nutrition. We talk about the roles of the vitamins and minerals. Now, I say it every week, but why is vitamin D the Kim Kardashian of vitamins? How about B9? How about D2? How about D3? Do you even know what D your doctor is checking? Later in the show, I'm going to talk about the differences between the 2 Ds and why it's important that we're checking both. We've finally gotten to the point, because of people, smart people like you, who are actually going into your doctor's office and saying, I want my vitamin D level checked. So now it's part of protocol, where I could have told you that 25 years ago it should have been part of protocol, but it's recently become part of protocol, and they check vitamin Ds, especially for people that live in New England. And it's super important. But how about B9? How about B2? How about B3, B6, B12? How about inositol? How about all the branched chain amino acids, isoleucine, leucine, etc.? Why? How about CQ10? Why aren't our doctors checking this stuff? Because we're skimming the surface with our health. And that's why you as a person needs to dig deeper. And not only, honestly, it's not for me. I mean, for me, it's not about like, okay, it's all not about, like how you look, right? It's like, how do you feel? How are you feeling mentally? Do you know how much food can affect your mood and exercise, right? So we need to be doing things that are going to keep us proactive by knowing what vitamins and minerals that we need. And we need to actually be, stop treating ourselves subpar. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about, I think I'm going to pick B9, D2, and D3 today to talk about. And we're also going to talk about the chemicals in the candy that you're giving your kids and the kids in the neighborhood and why that needs to stop. And we're going to talk about a client of mine. Oh, and then I'm going to tell you about a special code. It's called Radio Meg. And it is up on my site under Work with Meg. And we'll talk about that in a few minutes or after the break, because we're heading to a break in about 2 minutes here. So, again, if you're just tuning in, I'm registered dietitian Meg Marie O'Rourke. I'm the anti-diet dietitian. I'm the no-nonsense dietitian. And I'm going to tell you like it is. And so if you're not up for that, you can move on, or you can find a dietitian that's going to make it all fluffy and nice for you. But that's not me. And because I want you to get real results. And my clients get results. And all my clients have potential. And Weight Watchers is a total joke. So is every other insert crappy diet plan here. Diets do not work, okay? And we don't need to deprive ourselves. We don't need to punish ourselves because we've gained weight. You can lose weight in a natural, healthy way, eating whole foods, not depriving yourself, not going no carb, not fasting for 24 hours or 12 hours or whatever the heck people are doing right now, or not doing keto. Keto's a total joke, you guys. And so is Weight Watchers, and so is Jenny Craig, and so is all the garbage that they try and feed to you on TV. And they give you false promises. And they make it sound like your world is going to be so much better when you lose that 5, 10, 15, 100 pounds. It's like, really? You're not going to ever have to sit in traffic again? You're not going to have to go food shopping and stand in line? You're not going to have a bad day at work just because you lose weight? No, I'm going to be realistic with you guys. I'm going to let you know that life isn't all lollipops and rainbows, okay? So you are listening to the Harmony with Food Show. My name's Meg. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all Harmony with Food. And you can also go to my website if you're in the car right now. Remember HWF, or just Google Dietitian Meg Rhode Island. I'll come right up. Okay, so you guys, again, after the break, we're going to talk about some real proactive ways that you can help yourself. And I'm also going to talk to you about this new do-it-yourself program that I have on my website. So we will be right back.
Good Risings. The Good Risings podcast is a collection of 6 mini shows curated to give you a daily shot of inspiration, motivation, humor, relationship advice, and even astrology. You can choose to listen to one or all of the daily Good Risings offerings available on our feed. It's the perfect daily practice for anyone looking to lead a more intentional, mindful, and inspired life. Listen to the Good Risings podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Leading nutritionist Meg O'Rourke here. Historically, the challenges for practitioners following functional nutrition had been unable to identify functional imbalances versus end-stage disease. The technology in functional nutrition has been evolving at a very rapid pace. At Harmony with Food, we are implementing new testing. These tests are helping us to recognize patients' problems and teach them what those problems are so they can solve them. This technology allows for the highest specificity and sensitivity of testing on the market. Every patient coming through Harmony with Food is offered medical nutrition therapy, which is covered by most health insurances. And for those who wish to be even more proactive and go beyond what your insurance companies allow, we offer more premium programs that maximize your chance of success. Go to harmonywithfood.com or call 401-245-8784.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and Navage? And should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug, it's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril, around the back of the nose and out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hope, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
With confusion around vaccinations, masks, and public screenings, it's important to know the symptoms of COVID and its variants. Fever is the leading sign, so make sure you use an accurate thermometer for your family. Only the Exogen Temporal Scanner Thermometer has been proven accurate with more than 100 clinical studies. Non-contact thermometers have no clinical evidence behind them and cannot be relied on. Be vigilant and be accurate with Exogen. Learn more at Exogen.com.
Guys, Untuckit agrees it's finally time. Time to update our closets with new clothes we actually want to wear. Time to think about going back to the office or choosing a new way to work. Time to enjoy the best of fall, like long walks in the park and hot coffee on a brisk day. And that means it's time to look sharp and feel comfortable all day with Untuckit. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Discover the perfect fitting shirt today at untuckit.com. Use promo code TIME for 20% off your first purchase at Untuckit.com. Now, back to Harmony with Food with Meg O'Rourke on News Radio 920 and 104.7 FM. Ask Meg a question at Harmony with Food on Facebook or call her now at 1-866-920-WHJJ.
I help proactive people determine what foods, supplements, or drinks they should or should not be consuming by doing testing, and my role is not to prescribe or treat. Instead, my role is to understand the whole person, address the terrains within those symptoms, diagnosis, or signs that have manifested, and educate the patient on why those health challenges arose and how to get back control of their own health. And I do that through different testing. I have something on my site. It's called the BioUnique Boutique. And it talks about the micronutrient testing. It talks about the gut zoomer, where we do a stool test actually to determine exactly what pre and probiotics that you need. We also have other tests. We have food sensitivity testing, and we use microarray technology. The company that I work with is the #1 company in this. There's other companies around that are kind of subpar, but we determine what foods you are or may be sensitive to. And so that helps us to then set up a therapeutic plan for you, a therapeutic diet plan for you to get you where you need to be. So I don't prescribe or treat or diagnose. Instead, my role is to understand the whole person. And so there's this gap between the conventional doctors and functional nutritionists like myself, and I help fill that gap. Think of me as a conduit where you're taking the next step over. You're going from pain island to pain-free island, and I help you in that trip, or that's my role, is to help you get over to the pain-free place. So I'm going to switch gears for a minute here and talk a little bit about something I have for all the radio listeners. And just remember, if you're in the car now, you're going to go HWF, and when you get home, you're going to go Harmony with Food, HWF, Harmony with Food, and then you're going to go to my website, and you could check out my Bio Unique Boutique, but you could also look under the Work With Meg tab, and in that tab, I have a special offering for you guys. So if you like today's episode, you're really going to love this incredible course that I put together. Now, I was going to take it to the public for $997. As a matter of fact, if you go onto my website, there'll be a pop-up that says you can either get on the wait list for the next live course, or you can buy the course right now for $997, okay? It was a ton of work. It has 8 modules. It's 8-week program. And I know $997 sounds like a lot of money, but what I decided to do was put it out for the cost of less than going out to dinner with your spouse or your friend. Yeah, exactly. So for $197, I'm taking 80% off the do-it-yourself course, and I want to help you decrease the anxiety and embarrassment that you have about, like when someone asks you to go out to eat, and you're unable to, like, oh my God, I know how it works. Like, right away, you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I want to go. I'm trying to, be good, quote unquote. And you're feeling like your peers are staring at you, that you're taking too long, to order, and you're not sure what the best thing to order is and what is not going to make you gain weight. And you don't have to have those embarrassing moments where you're going to get up and have to run to the bathroom or something, because, we've all had those kind of moments, and we've all lived those kind of moments, and nobody likes it. It doesn't feel good. And so this is exactly why I made this such an incredible offers for less than one night out or a really nice bottle of wine. The investment will help you be better prepared, so the next time you go out, you can go out with confidence, go out knowing you will be able to navigate these moments. Now, guys, if you're listening to me and you're listening to this show, I'm going to tell you this is the best gift that you can give your wife or your partner or your friend right now, because you don't know the struggles that women go through. Women gain weight easier than men because we just are made with less muscle and less of some of the things that you guys have. So the more muscle you have, the faster your metabolism is. And so you guys don't know the anxiety that some women feel when they get asked to go out to dinner or to go do something or even go on vacation. It's like, ooh, that's going to be a struggle, because last time I went on vacation, we gained 8 pounds when I got back, and I don't want that to happen anymore. So this will totally help you. And it's not a diet, it's just a program. For instance, I have a lot of different things in there. I have exchange lists, I have videos, I have PDFs. For instance, we dig deeper. If you like the show, that's great, but we go deeper in the course. And so the course is going to provide you a lot of information, okay? And you're going to then, once you go over to my site, harmonywithfood.com, and then you're going to click Work with Meg, and then I leave the little, the coupon code is Radio Meg, and it's up on my site, and I decided to keep it up there because I know there's been times where I got frustrated when I couldn't find the darn coupon code for something. So for me, I'm just leaving it up on the site for you guys. And you can go ahead over there. And now, maybe you're someone who doesn't like to work in a group. Okay, that could be one issue, one reason you'd want to do it yourself. The other reason is you could do it at your own time and your own pace. And you could even skip ahead, you know, if you wanted to, because I have handouts in there, for instance, you know, Meg's favorite breads. And then I list all the breads that have been tested and actually have Roundup in them. And then I list the breads that don't. So we're actually, you know, that's just one example. I have 40 plus healthy snack suggestions, which is really would be a cool snack thing to give kids instead of the candy bars and stuff that we're going to talk about later, and all the chemicals and dyes and stuff that's in the candy that we are about to feed our neighbors' children this 31st. And so you guys really don't know the struggle and the anxiety that women have. So it's like she's picking out an outfit, and you know, it's almost like it's a survival guide. She's thinking, how can I be better prepared for when we go out to this new restaurant? I'm going to be able to help her and help you navigate this, you know, and she's going to feel so much better every time you guys go out. So I know there's some guys that are saying, oh, I didn't really realize my wife does this. Well, a lot of women do. And I want women to be able to go out and feel comfortable and feel like they got this when they go out, or they go on vacation, or they go buy clothes, for instance, you know. A lot of women tell me they just won't go up a size, and it's like, well, it looks worse wearing tight clothes, you know, so go buy clothes that fit you, and you can have them brought in if you want, but don't wait. And so like I said, I was going to put this course out for $9.97, and I know for a lot of you, you're like, oh, that's a lot of money. Well, it was a lot of work, okay? It's a lot of work done by me, and normally I charge $299 an hour. So if you just think about that, and so you're going to get the course like you're going through it like we did with the first group of Your Diet Do-Over. You'll see the videos and everything that we did. And if you're someone that doesn't like to be in a group, maybe you're more introverted, this is perfect because you're going to be able to do it yourself at your own pace. So go on over to harmonywithfood.com, work with Meg, and then click the Your Diet Do-Over, and remember the radio code, okay? Because it's normally $9.97 for all the listeners. And I don't know how long I'm going to keep this up. But anyway, I wanted to thank all you guys because you guys have been supporting me for a long time. So you're going to get the course for $197, and it's usually $9.97. So I'm giving you this 8-week course that's going to change the way you think about food for less than 1 hour with a one-to-one with me. And so the thing is that, you know, this radio show goes all over the world. It goes, you know, Afghanistan, Asia, you know, so it's not, I can't possibly, I've had a lot of people from the Philippines, you know, attend some of my courses and things. So I can't possibly, you wouldn't be able to work with, like, I can't travel to you and then you pay me on top of that the $299 plus all the money it would cost for me to travel to you, right? My time. Like it's just not affordable. But what is affordable is this $197 course. And so you could do it at your own pace. Maybe you have a mother, a father, a sister, a brother who, like, you know, they're struggling with this, and you're like, I'm going to buy this for them, or I'm going to purchase this and then just give it to them, you know. I'm not sure if you can do that or not, but if you had problems with that, just let me know. You can always email me, meg@harmonywithfood.com. And that's my personal email, guys. So I want you guys to know that you can ask me questions there. And the number here, too, is 866-920-9455. And again, the number here is 866-920-9455. And you are listening to the Harmony with Food radio show with leading nutritionist Meg Marie O'Rourke. And you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all Harmony with Food. You can also go over to my website, harmonywithfood.com. I have lots of information, lots of free stuff on there, blogs. I have my radio shows. All the shows are up there if you want to listen. So go on over, check it out. Let me know what you think, and email me at meg@harmonywithfood.com. And I'm just going to tell you guys we're heading over to a break. And again, Harmony with Food on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and we will be right back.
When you become a caregiver, you have lots of questions. Like, what medical supplies do you need? And how do I choose an adult diaper? Carewell is here to help. It's your shop for everything caregiving. Great products like Depends, Ensure, and Tranquility at prices you'll love. With real caregiving specialists available 24/7, ready to help. Plus, fast, free 1 to 2 day shipping. Caregiving isn't easy, but you don't have to do it alone. Visit carewell.com/radio for $10 off. That's carewell.com/radio. Terms apply.
Hi everyone, I'm leading nutritionist Meg Marie O'Rourke, and I'm owner of the Harmony with Food Company and producer of the Harmony with Food radio show that airs every Saturday from 11 to noon on iHeart, WHJJ, 104.7 FM, 920 AM. I have been practicing for over 20 years, having worked in the Level 3 trauma unit, oncology. I've taught diabetic classes to newly diagnosed people with diabetes. I've helped people that just passed having a heart attack. And I've also worked in a GI surgical unit, seeing all kinds of debilitating GI diseases, such as Crohn's disease, diverticulitis, irritable bowel syndrome, and much more. And lastly, I'll tell you the dirty little secret the big weight loss companies and big food and big pharma don't want you to know is that junk food is bad and big food wants us addicted and big pharma wants us on prescriptions and the big diet companies don't want you to know that diets don't work. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all Harmony with Food.
With confusion around vaccinations, masks, and public screenings, it's important to know the symptoms of COVID and its variants. Fever is the leading sign, so make sure you use an accurate thermometer for your family. Only the Exogen Temporal Scanner thermometer has been proven accurate with more than 100 clinical studies. Non-contact thermometers have no clinical evidence behind them and cannot be relied on. Be vigilant and be accurate with Exogen. Learn more at exogen.com.
Hi, I'm Meg, the proud owner of Harmony with Food. You might recognize me from my hour-long show on WHJJ on Saturday, but if not, let me introduce myself. I've been working as a registered dietitian for over 20 years, and I help people like you lose weight, improve their digestion, and have tons of energy. One way I do this is to test, not guess. I use genome, micronutrient, food sensitivity, and microbiome testing to figure out what foods you should or should not be eating. I was put on this earth to help you develop a harmonious relationship with food and to learn how to stop dieting for good. To learn more about me and how I can help you be the healthiest you can be, visit harmonywithfood.com or call us at 401-245-8784. That's 401-245-8784, or go to harmonywithfood.com.
News, I'm Jared McHugh. The all-important race for the next governor of Virginia is all tied up.
2 months ago, this was Terry McAuliffe's race. He was ahead in the polls. The latest Monmouth University poll just out this past week shows the two are currently tied at 46% even. McAuliffe is calling in the big names to give Democratic voters a push. He started his Get Out the Vote bus tour. He'll be joined by the 44th President, Barack Obama. Stacey Abrams from Georgia will campaign, and President Biden will do so in just a few days on Tuesday. Republican Glenn Youngkin launching his bus tour in Fairfax County.
Fox's David Spunt. It's not Mardi Gras, but it's close. New Orleans will be hosting its first big parade in celebration of Halloween tonight, the first event of its kind since the COVID shutdowns began in 2020. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, here's your Storm Team 10 forecast.
For the rest of the day, temperatures will continue to climb into the low 60s. Certainly not as warm as the past couple days, but we'll still see a mix of sun and clouds, hitting a high near 63 degrees in Providence. Overnight, falling back into the 40s and low 50s, and we have another partly cloudy day ahead for Sunday. Still on the cooler side, though, in the low 60s. Heavier rain will be moving in Sunday night into Monday. I'm Storm Team 10 meteorologist Christina Ernie.
Now, back to Harmony with Food with Meg O'Rourke on News Radio 920 and 104.7 FM. Ask Meg a question at Harmony with Food on Facebook or call her now at 1-866-920-WHJJ.
Welcome back. We were talking earlier about how we were all walking around with weakened immune systems, and COVID actually tested all of us, and a lot of people didn't even realize that they had a weakened immune system because conventional medicine doesn't focus on that. And so today I'm going to take a little bit of time to tell you about some vitamins that are essential. And yeah, your doctor may be checking vitamin D, but is he checking D2 or D3? And I'm going to tell you the differences between those two. And I'm going to also check on B9. So every week I try and check on a few of the vitamins to just let you know that all the vitamins and minerals and amino acids, etc., are important to us. And conventional medicine is just skimming the surface. Like I say, it's nice to know you don't have cancer, or that you do, so you can do something about it. But how about being proactive, being the leader of your own body, and actually being the proactive individual for your health? Because if you don't do it, nobody else is. So in my membership, we actually have a coach, and her name is Patty, and she actually is a proactive healthcare advocate, and she helps people with rare diseases. She's been on the show before. She helps people with rare diseases navigate the healthcare system, which I think is super, super important. We have other leading experts in the membership too, but you can't do the membership until you do the Your Diet Do-Over course, and then you're eligible to be put into the membership. And you can do the course by yourself, and it's up on the site, like I mentioned before, harmonywithfood.com, and you can go over there, and or if you prefer to just get some free information, you could do that too. So let's go over, and I'm going to talk about B9, which is actually folate, and you probably have heard of that before. But the doctors don't really check this, at least my doctor doesn't, and I know yours doesn't either. So what we are trying to do is be proactive and look at other things that we're not checking so that we can have strong immune systems, be sleeping well, have good mental health, because all of this affects how we're feeling. And unfortunately, the conventional doctors are not touching upon that. And so folate is a naturally occurring form found in foods. Folic acid is the supplement synthetic form, and folate is more bioavailable. Once in the circulation, folate gets methylated, and so that methyl tetrahydrofolate is the most abundant folate in the circulation, and it functions with the vitamin B12 and the methylation reactions to reduce homocysteine, but is also involved in the DNA synthesis of red blood cells. And how can it get depleted? Folate can be depleted by use of methotrexate, which a lot of you know is used for autoimmune issues, anticonvulsants, antacids, and birth control pills. That's a whole nother story about women being on birth control pills for 5, 10, 20 years and the things it does to our bodies. But I'm not really an expert in that, but we're going to continue to talk about folate, B9. So clinical manifestations of depletion. Deficiency of folate can manifest as anemia. I've had that before. It's brutal. You can't even lift your head off the table, and I got that from being on birth control pills. Who knew, right? So megablastic anemia will also involve B12. So often folate deficiency is secondary to vitamin B12 deficiency because conversion to the 5-methylfolate is B12 dependent. Symptoms of B12 deficiency can include elevated homocysteine, also called hyperhomocystinemia, neural tube defects if mother is deficient during pregnancy. You probably have heard that before. Mood disorders such as anxiety and depression, particularly in the elderly, and fatigue, impaired immune function, and cardiovascular disease. So if we are in this society where things have shifted, things have changed, and now we're like, okay, so when is this going to end? Is this going to end? And so many of you out there are treating your body subpar. And some of you are doing more damage than good by being on 19 different supplements. And sometimes overuse can cause toxic problems and other things. And sometimes they can counteract each other. So let's talk about the food sources of B9 so that we can make sure that we are in good standing. Food sources include green leafy vegetables, legumes, especially black-eyed peas, lentils, brewer's yeast, and brown rice. Folate is easily destroyed by cooking. Enriched grains are a supplemental source of folate. So again, the bottom line here is that it can affect your immune system, it can affect pregnancy, it can affect anxiety and depression and fatigue and cardiovascular disease. So I ask why, again, why is vitamin D the Kim Kardashian of vitamins? Why are we not paying attention to some of the other vitamins? Okay, so we're going to focus again. I think a lot of you have heard too that D3 and vitamin D, easy for me to say, vitamin D25 are very important, sometimes called D3, D2, I'm sorry. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit. But do you get what I'm saying here? Are you starting to understand that we are not treating our bodies as well as we should? A lot of you are treating your body subpar, and a lot of you are committing a slow suicide, and you don't really want to think about that. You don't want to talk about that. As a matter of fact, I say I'm the no-nonsense dietitian. I ain't kidding, right? So I had a social worker write me I don't know when it was, and she said that her and her friend are both social workers, and they really like my show, but she doesn't think that I should say is committing a slow suicide. Well, let's look at the other side of the coin. Anorexia Nervosa, they say that all the time, that it's a slow suicide. So why wouldn't being morbidly obese be a slow suicide? People eat themselves to death every single day in this country, and other countries too. So let's wake up, stop treating our bodies subpar, and start thinking about what is going on with this healthcare system, and why are we sheeple instead of people? We're like the cows, the herd going into the barn. And we're just doing what our doctors do, which is skim the surface. I love conventional doctors. I've worked in hospitals for 10 years. I love nurses. They're some of my favorite people. Some of the nicest people I've ever met are nurses and social workers and things like that. But the bottom line is, I'm not going to make it all fluffy and cute and pretty and make it lollipops and rainbows. You're slowly killing yourself. You're going to either get diabetes or the comorbidities of, obesity, which include diabetes, cardiovascular disease, including hypertension. I hate the word pre-diabetes. You either have it or you don't. See how people hear pre-diabetes is that they don't really have diabetes yet. And I have quite the opposite take. It's like you're on your way to Diabetesville, and you're going to end up with a limb that has to be taken off, or your eyesight's going to go. Diabetes is a terrible disease that it can affect you from your eyes to your toes. And if you don't believe me, go read up on it, or read one of my blogs about it, because it is an awful disease, and you don't want it. And if you have it, a lot of people that are type 2 can turn it around through diet and exercise and making sure they're getting the right minerals and supplements to improve their immune system, because when it comes down to it, it's also an autoimmune disease, right? Like most diseases are. So why are we not looking closer at what vitamins and minerals the doctors are checking? Now, here's the thing. Here's the bottom line, and this is the truth. Insurance companies aren't going to pay for it. So are you going to let the insurance companies run your health? Do you really think the health insurance companies give a crap about you? It's about numbers. It's about money. And you need to be proactive and do more than what your insurance company is allowing you to do. And after the break, I'm going to tell you about one of my clients. We had a confidential, HIPAA confidential talk on the phone, which always is. If you call my office, the number there is 401-245-8784. You could go to the website, contact us that way if you want. But either way, you can, if you're interested in doing some of the testing, we'll set up an appointment and we'll talk. And I'll tell you about, I'm going to make up this name here, Sally, after the break, and what happened to Sally after doing the testing and how it was a real game changer for her. all of us are just doing what the insurance companies allow, which is really backward thinking, especially with COVID. We're going to talk about the differences between vitamin D2 and vitamin D3 after the break. And we're going to, I hope at minimal, I get you thinking that you are treating your body subpar. So is the insurance companies. So is conventional medicine. And are you going to be one of these people that decides, like me, to be more proactive about your health? You're listening to the Harmony with Food Show, and we'll be right back.
Are you so focused on your career and family that you forget to take care of you? Have you tried countless diets but still can't find the one that's right? Whether you are dreaming of fitting into some clothes that don't fit anymore or improving your overall health, you can rebuild your relationship with food and heal yourself with Harmony with Food. I'm Meg Marie O'Rourke, a registered dietitian, and I was put on this earth to help others live healthfully and stop suffering by learning how to develop a harmonious relationship with food and stop the insane dieting for good. This is the time to be the healthiest you that you can be. With my 8-week online course, you can learn to master the skills to take control of your nutrition, lifestyle, and overall health and heal yourself with food on your schedule. Join the Harmony with Food movement and see how you can improve. Call us at 401-245-8784, 401-245-8784, or go to harmonywithfood.com.
Guys, Untucked agrees it's finally time. Time to update our closets with new clothes we actually want to wear. Time to think about going back to the office or choosing a new way to work. Time to enjoy the best of fall, like long walks in the park and hot coffee on a brisk day. And that means it's time to look sharp and feel comfortable all day with Untucked. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Discover the perfect fitting shirt today at untuckit.com. Use promo code TIME for 20% off your first purchase at untuckit.com. Help support a wish come true at Racing for a Wish at R1 Indoor Karting on November 7th. Go-kart racing, great food, and live entertainment. And all the proceeds go to help grant the wish of a young girl with a serious illness. For tickets and details, find A Wish Come True on Facebook.
Leading nutritionist Meg O'Rourke here. Historically, the challenges for practitioners following functional nutrition had been unable to identify functional imbalances versus end-stage disease. The technology in functional nutrition has been evolving at a very rapid pace. At Harmony with Food, we are implementing new testing. These tests are helping us to recognize patients' problems and teach them what those problems are so they can solve them. This technology allows for the highest specificity and sensitivity of testing on the market. Every patient coming through Harmony with Food is offered medical nutrition therapy, which is covered by most health insurances. And for those who wish to be even more proactive and go beyond what your insurance companies allow, we offer more premium programs that maximize your chance of success. Go to harmonywithfood.com or call 401-245-8784.
We now return to Harmony with Food with Meg O'Rourke on News Radio 920 and 104.7 FM. Ask Meg a question at Harmony with Food on Facebook or call her now at 1-866-920-WHJJ.
Welcome back to the Harmony with Food Show, and we were talking about how important B9 is to your immune system, also known as folate. We're also going to talk about vitamin D25 and vitamin D3, and we're going to talk about, I'm going to tell you a little story about, I'm going to call her Sally. That's not really her name, but Sally, and I'll just use this name to keep things anonymous. You really don't really hear that name very much anymore, do you? But anyway, so Sally heard my radio show, and she reached out to me, and we had a HIPAA-compliant one-on-one conversation. And Sally told me exactly what she was suffering with, and we don't need to go into that, but Sally decided to do some of the proactive testing with me. And so now we are able to find out exactly what she needs for her body and lifestyle, not something generic. So Sally will not just be pulling something off the shelf at GNC where there's some 20-year-old that has no nutrition experience whatsoever. just a trained salesperson. Now, so prior to saying yes, Sally had to ask her doctor, what he thought of her doing the micronutrient and the gut-zim or the microbiome testing, so we could determine exactly what pre and probiotics. And he said, "Oh, you're doing fine. Don't worry. You don't need all that." But here's the thing: doctors know nothing about nutrition, and they're trained to prescribe. And you ever notice when you go to the doctor's office that there's always sales reps there, coming in with the Krispy Kreme or the Panera lunches for everybody, Starbucks, and everybody in the office. And at the end of the day, if the doctor is not going to get anything out of it, he or she's not going to say to do it. She's just not. And they don't really know anything about nutrition anyway, so it can be infuriating. And here's the thing too, though: if we all get healthier and we don't need prescriptions and we don't need to go to the doctors more than once a year, if we all get healthy and do proactive things to stay healthy and stop treating our bodies subpar, what do you think that means? Less prescription medications, less visits to the doctors. They're going to put themselves out of a job, okay? Or they're going to have a lot less clients. And so they're dependent on the fact that we're all sick, or we're going to get sick if we're not sick right now. And here's another thing: before you go shopping for clothes, you don't need to know your size or measurements, right? You do. So you can't just go clothes shopping and not know what size you are, or around what size you are. And so this is not a one-size-fits-all approach to your health. Here's what will happen with Sally. She will know the exact pre and probiotics instead of just guessing by picking them off the shelf of Whole Foods and just, seeing what sticks. You know what I mean? It's like throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what sticks. She's not hoping and praying anymore. She's going to know exactly what she needs for her body. And, and she's going to find out the exact vitamin and minerals that she's deficient in, or that maybe she's just borderline. We see that a lot too, like low normal. So that's something we'd want to get you. And then I pick out all the supplements for you. So we do it on an online apothecary. I mean, I make recommendations and suggestions, and you're welcome to order those if you like. But the reality is there's a lot of people out there spending a lot of money on prescriptions and naturopathic things, and they don't even know if it's working or not. So what some people do is they do this so they can determine exactly what supplements they need. The prebiotic thing is crazy, because if you're not getting the right pre and probiotics for your own microbiome, it's not going to work. And then you're going to go, "Oh, these don't work. Oh, maybe I'll try another one, or I'll just give up." And I'm here to tell you that it can be a game changer if you get the right ones, especially if you're having any kind of GI issues. And so if you want to go on a similar path as Sally, aren't you worth it? Aren't you worth getting, you don't want to just be puttering around the holidays, for January 1st. You want to have your foot already on the gas going into 2022. Now, I don't believe in the whole New Year's resolution. Not only did she just had a transformation that you wouldn't believe. She was all of a sudden having so much more energy. She felt fatigue. She just felt so much better, and she wrote me a raving review, which is always a pleasure and something I work hard towards every single day, to get wonderful reviews from people just like you guys. So, all right, let me go back to the micronutrients, because we already talked about folate, B9, and it is important for the immune system. So D3 is referred to as 125 hydroxy vitamin D3. And it has a shorter half-life in the blood than the other D that we're going to be talking about in a moment. For what most standard labs run and what is most commonly used to assess vitamin D status. And therefore, levels may differ from what is measured as 25D, or the D we're going to talk about in a minute. The conversion of 25D to 125D is performed in the kidneys and regulated by the parathyroid hormone. Easy for me to say. When blood calcium levels fall, parathyroid hormones signal the kidneys to convert more to D25, which increases intestinal absorption of calcium and reduces bone demineralization of calcium. So there's a lot on this, so I'm going to skip over to the symptoms of depletion for the clinical manifestations from not having enough D3. Conditions associated with low D status include Alzheimer's disease, asthma, autism, cancer, cavities, colds, flus, so that means your immune system, cystic fibrosis, dementia, depression, diabetes type 1 and 2, psoriasis, hearing loss, heart disease, hypertension, infertility, inflammatory bowel disease, insomnia, macular degeneration, osteopenia, osteomalacia, and schizophrenia, seizures, septicemia. And reasons for suboptimal D3 include lack of sun exposure, particularly in northern latitudes like we are in New England, but we have people all over the world listening. So malabsorption due to celiac disease or other inflammatory diseases in the bowel, and inadequate hepatic vitamin D25 enzyme hydroxylase, and some prescription medications such as epileptic drugs, phenobarbital, and some other medications are also listed that can actually decrease vitamin D. And so we're talking about D3 here, and sources include dairy products, fortified milks and yogurts, oranges, egg yolks, liver, fish, salmon, tuna, mackerel, baker's yeast, so mushrooms. So there's a lot of ways we can get it through our food, but we're not always able to get the right amount. So let me go over to the next one, which we don't really talk about that much. In 25D, 25-hydroxy vitamin D is the standard lab test, which measures the active precursor of the 125D, which is in combination the two forms of vitamin D in the body, vitamin D2 and D3. So again, lots of information here on this, but because 25D is a precursor to active forms of vitamin D, it is important to note that it is not reflective of the overall active vitamin D levels, but rather it is available for conversion if cofactors are sufficient. So the D2 and the D3, they work together. And so conditions, again, it can affect a lot of conditions, psoriasis, autism, cancer, all the ones I mentioned before, and multiple sclerosis, IBD, irritable bowel diseases, inflammation of the bowel, rheumatoid arthritis, mental health issues, and reasons for suboptimal 25D2 specifically include lack of sun, like I mentioned before, malabsorption due to GI issues, inadequate hepatic or liver D enzyme hydroxylase, and activity in some prescription medications, again, can lower vitamin D2. So we can get it through foods, but a lot of times that's not enough, and if we're not getting enough sunlight, we want the D2 and the D3 to work together. And a lot of times they're only checking one. And so I believe the doctor's offices are mostly checking, and I could be wrong. I mean, your doctor could be checking D3. I don't know what, they're all checking, but I know at my doctor's office they check the D2. So it comes back to the point of what I've talked about almost my entire life now is why are we treating ourselves? Like, what is happening in this world that we are just going with the flow? We're doing whatever people say. That's why a lot of people, I'm not suggesting to or not to get the vaccine. That's each person has to be looked at individually to decide if they want to do that. And some people, it may not be of benefit and may be, might cause more harm than good. So we have to be careful about that. And we want to make sure that everyone makes an educated decision about that. So, but why is it that the health insurance companies are just skimming the surface? I'll tell you why. I think you all know why. Big pharma, big ag, all of those companies are going to go out of business if we all start waking up and start, treating our bodies like the temples that it is, and stop treating our bodies like human garbage disposals, and stop slowly committing suicide. So you guys, you're listening to the Harmony with Food show. My name is Meg. If you're just tuning in, go over to my website, Harmony with Food. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all Harmony with Food. And remember, you need to be your own healthcare advocate. Remember when the FDA years ago used to tell us it was okay to smoke cigarettes, it wasn't going to cause cancer? Well, now we have Roundup in our food. So I'll leave on that note. See you guys next week, and have a wonderful weekend.
Rhode Island's news, traffic, and weather on News Radio 920 and 104.7 FM. WHJJ, Providence.
I'm Justin Pospiak, News Radio 920 and 104.7 FM. Here's what's happening. The